All right, guys, you asked for it, and I finally wrangled everybody together to tell this story. So, without further ado, here it is directly.
Hi, everyone. I'm Will,
And I'm Paige.
and this is the story about how we asked our beautiful Cam to marry us. I'm going to be honest, a lot of the responsibility and planning was done by Paige. We initially started with the ring, like any traditional relationship, right? You got to do ring shopping. And I already did that once, so I kind of handed over the ball to Paige. She sent me some like options, obviously, to get my input. But for the most part, she coordinated everything. She even coordinated us needing to like have an inside man to find out ring sizes and styles and colors and everything that Cam uh, might be interested in. Did you know that?
Uh, I found out, but I wasn't aware at the time that it was a covert operation.
Oh, yeah, 100%. So we actually had one of Cam's best friends just asking some sneaky questions because at the time, Cam wasn't expecting us to ever really propose. And I think we caught her off guard a little bit.
Completely.
But really, you got to back up to when it first started. It was once we came back from our first international trip together to Chile, and we were at the Renaissance Fair, and we were there with Cam's kiddo, and we were walking by one of the little jewelry shops, and kind of made a joke about maybe getting an engagement ring for his current crush. And I looked at him and said, "Hey, speaking of which, what would you think if we proposed to your mom?" And instantly, his eyes lit up. He said, "Yes, absolutely."
Well,
yes."
no. First, he went, no. And then he smiled real big and then said, absolutely.
Yeah.
Which was ironic because when I originally asked Paige to marry me, her response was absolutely. So that was a good sign. But yeah, and then we had some work to do to find out all the information we needed, like ring sizes, things like that. And here, do you have the ring?
Oh, yes.
So for those that, it's kind of far away, but it is a triangle, and it's actually two rings that go into each other. That way, we could both give Cam a ring when we were proposing. So, Paige, how did we decide when and where we were to do it?
Well, step one was knowing we weren't going to do it in the States. It's just not a way to propose to a woman like this. You had to do it abroad.
That's true.
And so we'd already been planning our big vacation for the summer to Greece. And so we started toying with the idea of, okay, do we do it in Paris? Because the first couple days we were going to be flying into France and spending some time there. Do we do the classic Eiffel Tower, or do we make it more special?
Which was a little bit of you trying to get back at me for not proposing at the Eiffel Tower whenever I had the opportunity. We'll talk about that down the road. But yeah, so we decided that we wouldn't be as cliche. No offense to anyone who's done the romantic thing on the Eiffel Tower.
We have to talk about the fact that y'all tried to take me to the Eiffel Tower like 2 different times on this trip. So, and I knew this story, and I was like, why are they making such a big deal about getting to the top of the Eiffel Tower?
Well,
and then it couldn't happen because we were there right before the Olympics.
It's true. It was like what, a week and a half
It was
before?
like the day after they finished putting up the rings, I think, or right around then.
Yeah. So for those that don't know, the Eiffel Tower is like shut down. No matter what time you were there or trying to be there, because we got told multiple things and found out after like 4 trips to the Eiffel Tower that it's just not happening. So luckily that wasn't our plan. We decided to do it in Greece.
And we only had really a month to plan the ring's arrival because we finally got it ordered after coordinating which exact ring we wanted to do. And it wasn't going to make it to the US through customs in time to have it packed up and ready to go for our trip. So instead, we had to figure out, where do we have it delivered in Europe to make sure that we can propose on time while we're in Greece.
And for anyone who has ever had an Amazon package that was a present go missing or not arrive in time, imagine a multi-$1,000 ring that you're trying to propose to this bombshell with, right? Like, we were like, oh no, we're to be there and just be like, never mind, we're not doing these things. Like, plans changed. Because yeah, for a while, like we lost tracking information.
The hotels that we were staying at wouldn't accept responsibility of
Mhm.
accepting the rings for insurance reasons.
Understandably.
So then we had to coordinate with DHL to find a very specific delivery location, and of course the timing of when it would have been ideal to propose. We're going to be on, one of the more remote islands in
Mhm.
Greece, so that was a fun endeavor.
Because we did it on Mykonos?
Naxos, yes.
Look, they all felt very similar. But yeah, we did it on Naxos, and it was great because we get into the island, and we finally, like, I think it was the day of, we finally get word that, hey, the ring is here.
Mhm.
You guys are good. And we're like, whoo! And so we get there, and we have to come up with some sort of excuse to get Cam, like, not just on our hip like she always is, because she loves us so much. And so we're having I think breakfast or brunch, whatever it was at the time, and we're sitting there, and Paige is like, oh, maybe I'll go get the rental car and figure it out. And we were trying to be helpful, and Cam's like, oh, we'll go with you. And I was like, no, I'm really hungry. And I'm gonna get upset if we don't eat soon. And I'm trying to play the role of the bad guy who's grumpy, which is kind of easy for me sometimes. And so Paige is off doing her thing with the rental car and getting the ring situated as we're having brunch at like a really nice little cafe. And man, I was just sweating bullets. I still didn't trust that the ring was there.
Same, especially because they had informed us, oh, it's going to be at a locker.
Mhm.
And to open the lock, you have to have a Greece phone number or Greek phone number. And that
Yeah.
was a struggle. So huge shout out to not only Praise Wedding, who we got the ring through, but also DHL. Both coordinated so well to help us pull it off. And really appreciate the fact that it was there when we needed it.
Man, I can't even get FedEx to pick up a return. So yes, thank you so much, DHL. But yeah, so she got the package, and then we went on about our stay there in Naxos and kind of like tried to play it cool and not look too excited, right? And the whole time, Paige had been in a contact with, again, she did everything. Paige had been in a contact with a photographer
Mhm.
to capture the moment, and great forethought there. And we had arranged a horseback ride.
Yes, on the beach.
And first, let's address this horseback ride. Ponies at best. Malnutrition ponies. They look like they're about to go on the Lord of the Rings journey with how malnutrition these ponies were. And so we're on this beach horseback ride that we're going down like Naxos streets, and like we're not nowhere near the beach. And so for like an hour and a half of this like 2-hour horse ride, we are on the beach for 10 minutes, maybe 10 minutes.
You did get in the water though.
I
with the
did.
horse.
We have some
Yes,
awesome
very cool
videos that we'll
pictures.
post. So we got really cool videos and pictures
Mhm.
there, but we couldn't coordinate with the horse guy to allow us to do the proposal pictures with the horses, because Cam grew up riding horses competitively, and so horses was a very important part of this story and the proposal. And then so we're like wet from this horseback ride because we're going in the water finally with the horses and stuff. And then I'm trying to communicate with the photographer, and he doesn't know where we're at. And I'm like, oh no. And they're trying to change because we're like, oh, we're doing a surprise like photo shoot just to like celebrate our trip. And I finally find the photographer after walking down the beach, and I roll up riding on the back of his like Vespa, just like engulfing the guy. And we started taking some photos. Hello.
I'm thinking this is going to need to be a part 2 because
Yeah.
we're running out of time, and there's still a lot more to the story.
There's a